doing? You look great. How you feeling down there? You got some nice weather today, or is it still chilly?
It's starting to warm up. 11 degrees in the morning here. It's a big day. I think it's birthday season for our family. And
Oh
it was
boy.
Ryan's birthday one Thursday morning here, and today is my oldest son's Jack. He turns 17, and it's
Dude.
his birthday this morning as well. So
Well,
it's a
happy
big day in the Belarjan household.
happy birthday to everybody. Now, do 17-year-olds in Australia get into trouble like 17-year-olds in Saskatoon do?
Oh, it's a timely topic. Um, my son likes to work a lot, but the other day he came up and said, "Hey, for my birthday, I'd like to have a couple friends over. Do you think it'd be okay to have a couple drinks?"
Oh boy.
Yeah, a little dilemma for the parents here because drinking age here is 18. So of course, and Jack's our first, so everything is new
Yeah.
for us as parents with him. And I said, "Look, the answer is no, and just be prepared when your sister turns 17 and she asks, we'll probably be like, yeah, who cares? We're out of here." Um, but it's a little bit of a dilemma because he says, "Well, when you were 17, did you have beers?" And I can remember a couple of my friends' house. I think they're teachers in Saskatoon, so I won't say their names. But we used to go to their house, when the parents would go away for the weekend and
Yeah.
have a couple of beers together. And I said, "Yeah, we had them." He goes, "Well, why can't I?" And I said, "Anyways,
Ooh. Yeah, and
because
that's
I'm
the
your
dilemma.
parent."
That's right.
Tough one.
I'm your dad. That's why. You listen to me. So he's not. Safe to say he's not getting a 2 for a VB out there for his birthday.
Nah, if we're doing, probably get some Coronas or something. Got to get something
Oh.
good at least. But
Oh.
anyway, so we kind of softened our stance, and he's a smart boy. I taught him to propose things. I said, if you
Wow.
want something, propose it to your mother. So he's come back with another proposal, and we're reviewing right now.
Are we talking like a full-on written proposal?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Okay.
Just using the words, "Dad,
Yeah,
I'd like to propose something." So
I see.
yeah.
I remember when we were over there. It was the Victoria Bitters were the beers, and once we couldn't afford those anymore because all the beer was so expensive, all the spirits were so expensive, we eventually settled on the what we call goon juice, the Coolabah wine. Coolabah wine. I think we paid $4 for 4 liters, and then you'd take that home and you'd mix it with some Fanta, and off you went. That was our drink of choice as we traveled
That was the
around.
wine in the bag. Was that the wine in the bag?
Absolutely. So when you finish it and you pass out, you can just blow it up, and then you can use it as a pillow.
Oh, jeez, man. It's making the most of it. Hey, do you guys have, talking of spirits,
Yes.
could you buy like a Ryan Coke in cans now? I know this
Oh
might
yeah.
sound like a strange question. Okay, yeah.
No, we got all those things. It's crazy how you don't even have to mix a drink anymore if you don't want to. Everyone just does it for you, and they throw in a can and off you go.
Well, the big one here is CC and dry. So like
CC.
Canadian Club.
Yeah. And dry? Is that like ginger ale?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah. You enjoy those ones?
That's my favorite. So
Yeah.
whenever we're out, somebody goes, "Oh, you're from Canada. You must want a CC and dry." So,
Dude,
um,
that's exactly like how everyone around the world thinks Foster's is like the big beer for everyone in Australia, and no one drinks it. Everyone hates Foster's.
have not seen. I couldn't even tell you if I've seen Foster's at the beer store. They have to be somewhere, but they're not there. VB is kind of the blue collar drink, and Carlton Draft is another one.
Okay.
Um, but then, yeah, I don't know. We just
Yeah.
get Coronas.
Well, you say it, and I think to myself, I don't ever see anybody with Canadian Club. Like the only time you ever see a bottle of that was when it was in like the Texas Mickeys, and people just used them as decorations for their houses.
Texas Mickey. I haven't heard that term for ages.
Oh, I used to love those, man. That was the way to do it. As we're hanging out with Coach Number One, aka Adrian Belarjon, on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we check in with him all the way over on the other side of the world. Now, we talked last week about the Olympics, AJ, and I want to know: have you got a little more excited as they are all set? I think they begin today with like prelims and stuff. Are you in it a little bit yet? As you guys, you're pretty competitive over there.
Yeah, so I know our flag bearers now. There's a rower, and I think this is her fourth Olympics, and we've got a hockey player, field hockey,
Of course.
uh, and it's his fifth Olympics.
Jeez.
So that's crazy that they can sustain that level of success.
for so long.
I was reading about the it's the women's Canadians team, the soccer team. Their coach, did he get suspended for a game because there was a drone flying over New Zealand's
Oh
training?
no,
And
Spygate.
so it was not a authorized member of the coaching staff, but I think the Canadians, the women's soccer team, yeah, that they the coach got suspended for a game. I think that's what I read this morning. Now, if I'm hoping I'm not just like making stuff up, and I know because there's so many people watching this, this will just
The two people are going
it's
to be
gonna
so
get
upset if you're spewing lies. That
fake
does
news.
that reeks a lot of the actual Spygate thing with Bill Belichick and the Patriots. 'Cause remember, it wasn't him that did it; it was someone associated, but they didn't know. They didn't know who the person was. Then they turned out actually he was like a member of your coaching staff, and it was like pretty deep, and everything they were saying was not true, and they got fined quite heavily. So if they did in fact do this in any way, I feel like one game is probably not that bad. But I guess if you're playing at the Olympics, you only get a couple games.
Yeah, it might be 25 or 50% of your games. So,
Yeah.
anyways, I guess we can watch that space. And then again, I think I read this. I'll get up in the morning, have a shower, grab my phone, see what's happened in the news. I think I read this one too that Argentina and Morocco were playing, and Argentina scored a tying goal. And no, yes, and it was disallowed. And the
Ooh.
fans went nuts, threw stuff on the field, rushing the gates. They had to stop the game, kick everybody out,
Oh,
and resume the game. And then
man.
Morocco ended up winning 2-1. Big upset.
Jeez. Soccer hooligans, man. Those fans are something extra, hey? They really get into it.
Yes, it. So, anyways, I hope both those stories are actually true. So I'm pretty sure that's what I read. But even bigger news in the Olympics:
Here we go.
the riders are 5-1.
Oh, look at you go. Now, we had our rider insider, our main man, LB, in here, and he's talking like not only is this team good, this team is going to go all the way. And I know everyone always says that and everyone always talks about it, but it rarely feels like it. But it's starting to feel like they're 2-1 with their backup QB, bro. Like that's nothing to shy away from there.
No, and this week should be a good test in Montreal, playing the 5-1 Alouettes. So okay, top two teams, East versus West. And what's really interesting is both teams' quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks, are out.
Yeah, Fajardo, former rider. So that's like that was the big thing. Like I think it was the year after they let him go, he went to Montreal and then won a Grey Cup there or something crazy like that. So everyone's always saying, "Oh, of course the Riders threw another one away," and now you got the two teams in first place facing off without their starters. So it'll be. I don't know if that'll play into the Riders' favor or not, but it looks like Patterson's established himself. I'm not sure who's backing up Fajardo over there. I'm just impressed that you actually did some research on the CFL. That's kind of fun. Are you
Man,
turning
I'll
into a
tell you
fan
what.
now? Is that what's happening?
Well, like I said, because we talked about it, it's like now I've got a little bit of an itch and start to follow and go, hey, we're 5-1. And I'm pretty excited to see that. Like we're probably almost in the playoffs already because usually the bottom half of the Western Conference is like 1-14, two and
Well, yeah,
13. So we
because
got 5 wins.
they got an extra team in there in the West. That's the problem. I've always said one of my biggest issues with the CFL is if you're going to be a pro team, at least have an even number of teams. Like having the crossovers for the playoffs and all that, or just don't have East and West. Just have 1 through 9 and just play it like that because it's so ridiculous that they've been doing this for so long. You want to say, hey, we're a big time professional sports team. And then you go out there and you do little things like that. It's like, well, come on, guys. You got to do something with that, don't you?
Well, yeah, there's two ways to look at it, I guess. Can I know Halifax is what haven't they always talked about Halifax having a team?
Yeah, they do. They do touchdown Atlantic or something like that. So they go out there and do exhibition games, and they always do very well. And so that's sort of how they're trying to gauge it. But no one's pulling the trigger on it.
Well, or the flip side is this is what makes the CFL special.
That's what everyone falls back on. Be it the Rouge, be it the giant field, be it the fact they have uneven teams in the league for their divisions. It just makes it our very own, and that's fine too if that's what we want it to be. It's just it throws me off when I try to follow all this, and then you get into it, you get invested into the playoffs, then you look and it's like a team in the East is not going to make the playoffs, and an extra team from the West is going to make one almost every year. And it's like, what are we even doing here, you guys? It's very strange. But at least we're
Yes, but
talking about it, right? At least we're talking about
but
it. Go Riders.
that's right. And if there's any CFL officials watching, remember, this is the Field of Stone. We want a game in somewhere in the vast prairies of Saskatchewan, the equivalent of
Yes.
Field of Dreams, but we
Yep.
want it somewhere, maybe
R-
Davidson, I think is what we talked about.
Davidson Farm, right in the middle of the wheat field or a canola field, and we're going full Field of Dreams CFL version. I feel like that would be a fantastic idea, and I think you will get all the credit if it ever happens. Do you think they could ever actually pull something like that off? Because they do go to that
Well,
touchdown Atlantic. They do that.
so wow, the precedence is set. So I'll tell you what, Gary, as soon as it happens, I'm coming over and we're gonna have, I don't know, a Pilsner or something
Yep,
in front of the field there. We'll do that.
absolutely. I think that would be we could tailgate in the barn.
They already need, you're gonna be their marketing guy.
There it is. That's that. Oh man, I just pictured us sitting in a barn, a bunch of cows crushing snurs, being like, "All right, I guess it's game time. Let's go!" and just walking out in our cowboy boots, and the field's right there. Man, that'd be sweet. Because
This is your second call.
a lot of those Canadian guys that make it in the CFL are usually big farm boys, right? Like those are the big boys that have that farm boy strength. So I bet you we could. Oh, that'd be really fun. Even if it was just like a minor league, like wouldn't even have to be CFL. Get like a high school game out there or something. Like just try it out. It'd be super cool.
Like, can you have like the provincial final? Yeah, you got to do a couple test runs first.
Yeah.
But there has to be lights. Like you just imagine the overhead shot with the lights. Anyway, so
Yeah. No, I'm picturing it with all the crops in the background. Everything's just more special in the evening when it comes to sports. Hey, it just adds that extra little bit once the lights goes on. Even on the lowest levels, like when we were playing with the Rhinos, we got one game a year at Cairns under the lights, and oh, or at least we used to, and it was fantastic, dude. Like you actually felt like you were playing in the show, and it's just so special to be able to look up and see nothing but black and then a ball. Oh, there it is, and then it'd go your way, and then if it was me, I'd probably drop it, and then I'd swear, and then we'd lose, and then I'd go home and cry. But so goes rec sports, right?
that's wow. And you look forward to it the next time. It's interesting you mention night games because here the AFL, Australian Football League,
Yeah.
when they have their grand final, so the equivalent of the Super Bowl,
Ooh.
it's an afternoon game. And so the game starts, it's light. When they finish, yeah, I think the sun has just come down or it's very close to being dark. But there's always been this debate that from a TV product, it would be better at night. You get more people watching it,
Yeah.
it would look better. But they are staying strong on this so far. And so what they do is they have a lot of breakfasts, like big corporate breakfasts all over the city beforehand. And then they make their way to the field. They have pregame entertainment. I think this morning they just announced Katy Perry
Oh,
is
come
going to
on.
is kicking it off. So surely they're
Love
going to
her.
play. She sing "Roar"? Is that her
Oh
song?
yeah, yeah. Roar,
Yeah, yeah.
fireworks, all sorts of bangers. She's the best.
Yeah. So they announced that she's going to be the pregame entertainment. So they do a big show leading up to it. They sing "The Land Down Under," of course, and then they play the game, and then it's just getting dark when they hand out the medals and the trophy.
Did they come up with any reasoning as to why they choose the afternoon instead of the evening? Like, there's got to be something to it, right? Is it just tradition?
Well, I was just going to go. I think it's just tradition, but I'm wondering why hadn't they evolved? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe when they first started playing, there probably weren't big lights in the stadiums
that's
like they
a
have
great
now.
point. Well, I do know, and I know cricket's a totally different game, but when we were there, we went to the Boxing Day test match at the MCG there, and boy, oh boy, that was wild. And I think we only lasted about 5 or 6 hours, but it's like, isn't it like an ongoing all day thing? Like, how does that all work? The Boxing Day test match. It was so much fun.
So they'll get it can go up to 5 days.
Jeez,
Um,
that's a lot.
it's really just I think it's equivalent to Canada's curling
Oh,
in
okay.
this in the sense that it's an excuse to drink
Yeah,
because when you're at a sporting event for 5, 6, 7 hours, it's impossible to watch the whole time.
it's a lot.
And when you went, did they have the snake Did the crowd get the snake of the beer cups? So they
No, I
just
don't
start
think
stacking.
we didn't have any beer cup snakes. We did have, there was like a break in the action, and they had Adam Scott, I believe. He was ripping chip shots from the stands onto a green in the middle of the pitch, and it was pretty cool. But it was very unique in that just the amount of, what's it, like 110,000 people in the MCG, like something nuts. Just to be around that was crazy.
Yeah, day one, first day, it's the Boxing Day. That's the big tradition. They'll get 80 to 100,000 people there.
Nuts.
Um, and
And
it is, yeah,
everyone's
it's pretty
drunk.
intense.
Everyone's
And
drunk.
every, so they
Doesn't matter who
banned
you are.
the beer snakes. I think so people would just stack all their cups, and then you'd get this snake of beer cups that could be,
Yeah.
I don't know, 10, 20 meters long.
Oh yeah.
And everybody would just stack onto the end and pass them around.
That
So
that
I
might have
think they put an
started
end to that.
might have started in the CFL because they've been doing those at CFL games for years now. It's sort of a thing.
Have they? Okay. Well, there you go. I haven't seen too many melon heads
Yeah.
here.
Like, they always say Rider fans are everywhere, man, but that's a good point. There's probably not too many in the land down under. It would be fun to see, though, as they're always representing. And I got to say, every time we talk, every Wednesday, I feel more and more like my CFL heart is growing like the Grinch. Just another little size. It's slowly getting back there. So thank you to you for propping all that up. Anything else exciting or cool going on over there? What's your temperature? You still like ice cold?
No, you don't have to scrape the windows anymore. You don't have to
Nice.
throw a bucket of water on the ice, which is the strategy to do
So
here.
weird.
What else? I've got my lunch with Adrian the Canadian today
Oh,
at 12:30. So I run a lunch and learn every month,
nice.
and I was trying to come up with a fancy name for it, and
I
I'd
think you
seen
nailed
somebody
it.
else. Yeah, it's like, what rhymes with Adrian? There's not too much. And then it's, wait a minute, the Canadian. So I usually share some kind of information before, to kick it off about Canada. So we talk about ketchup chips sometimes. And then we get into into the teams that swear and the leadership components of that. So we've got that coming up later on today at 12:30. So what is that? Is that 8:30 p.m. your time, I think?
Jeez, I'm so happy you did the the conversion there because I wouldn't have been able to do that. That was very well done. How do people get signed up for it? Is there a link or anything you can share?
Yeah, it's a Zoom link.
Oh, one of those things.
But
Good
it's-
luck.
Yeah, HTTPS www. But join up because that's going to be a ripper. So we're actually talking about relationships in the workplace because I do a report on the state of affairs of team dynamics, and the one that came out in May showed that relationships are struggling in the workplace. So we're going to talk about some of the data that came out from some of the research that I've done, and then we're going to talk about what can be done to improve relationships with your colleagues.
I love that. I love that so much because every time I'm reading the book and every time I read something and I talk to you, you're on. I think I'm about 180-ish in for pages wise, and there's a bunch of talk about bringing people together by again being open and talking about what you want to get accomplished and how to do it. Just the basic theme of your book plays right into that because that's a lot of what it is, isn't it? It's just how to bring everyone together, and it's always applying to everything I'm doing here every second of every day. So it's like a double whammy for me as I'm reading and then I'm learning, and then all of a sudden I'm eurekaing and saying that's a great idea, So once again, an absolutely great book from an absolutely great man. His name is Adrian Balarzon. He joins us every Wednesday. Thank you so much for a couple of minutes here, my friend. I was going to say stay warm, but you don't got to throw water on the windshields anymore. So you enjoy your day, enjoy the birthday, say hello and happy birthday to everyone from us, and we'll talk to you again next week. All right, brother?
All right, take care.
You're the best. Adrian Balarzon, a.k.a. Coach #1 in the house. Man, I love when he joins. It's always such a great chat as we continue here on a Wednesday on your show. We talk a lot about, I guess, the new shows coming up as we got the Dude podcast, which has been talked numerous times about on here. A returning show that we used to do, Coach Mays and myself, along with a couple other friends, and we have that one all ready to go and roll out. It'll either be maybe tomorrow or next Wednesday. So keep a lookout for that. We got the viewing room coming in with our producers, the Dragon, along with LB. Dragon is in the producer booth today on the ones and twos, having an absolutely fantastic time as he is multitasking right now on the floor. How you feeling? You ready to roll that little pre-tape? Okay. Another show we have coming down the line is tentatively named Story Time with Uncle Grandma. We played a little snippet for you last Wednesday. And as we continue, he's coming in tomorrow. We're going to do a couple more recordings and really get into it. But I thought we'd play another snippet of our chat from, I guess it'd be 2 weeks ago now, as he is a session drummer. You've seen him with all the bands. The guy is an absolute legend of a human being. And he came in and he has a lot of ideas. He's a podcast guy too. He listens to all the podcasts. He knows a lot. And in this previously recorded segment, our friend Graham Templeman, a.k.a. Grandma, and Story Time with Uncle Grandma, begins with talking about how to be a musician, as in a full-time gig. And he's got a bunch of tips for you. So we're going to roll that one for you now, and please enjoy.
Like if you look at, North Dakota, with the population of North Dakota, it's just right there.
Yeah.
You want to times our whole province by 10, just drive 4 hours south.
And guess what?
And you'll go play a
people, yeah.
rodeo that's bigger than any rodeo you'll ever see, or just go to an event.
And it's like a trip. It's less than a trip to Alberta. Less than a trip to
and
Canada.
they're all the same people. Oh, we come in from a small town, come to the big town. And it's like, yeah, it's the same thing. There is no difference between that border. The people are the same. Yes, there's different rules and regulations. There's rules and regulations everywhere. Go travel, go do something, get out of your hometown so you love the place that you're from that much more. And like, there's no place that I'd rather be in this entire world than this city, because it's right in the friggin' middle.
Right where you want to be, man. And mine is more my huge unnecessary fear of tsunamis.
Yeah.
I have.
Well, you listened to too much Tool in the late 90s. Maynard's telling you to swim, learn to swim.
No,
Might need to
man.
go to swimming lessons.
You know what? It was Hawaii. I was in Hawaii.
Arizona Beach or whatever.
They ran. They ran a test on their tsunami emergency horns, and just crippled me, man. I couldn't get my brain wrapped around the idea of a wave doing that.
Isn't that? I don't think we're on this planet to be comfortable.
Yeah, I'm trying so hard. Everything makes it so hard.
And that, there's some people listening, that Holiday guy, Holiday, the Stoic guy, the Daily Stoic dude. I don't know if you listen to him. He's a lot of cool quotes from old philosophers and stuff like that. That was a one of those kinds of things. And when I heard that, I was like, yeah, that's why everyone loves to be in Saskatchewan, is because it's literally the last place you're going to get major hurricanes, tsunamis, earthquakes, a lot of major things. If you're kind of stuck right over here,
I love that.
We're probably going to be pretty good.
That was my biggest reasoning.
And until you realize there's, the synchrotron that actually splits atoms over in the university that could put a crater into our entire province.
Why would you do that?
But
why would you, right after I explained to you the importance of my safe space here in beautiful Saskatoon? Well, I guess to be fair, I also did tell you that I'm horrified to leave the house because of how shitty everyone is outside. So,
they're pretty good. It's hot.
It is hot.
People get grumpy when it's hot.
Hot and sweaty.
Hot, well, yeah. You ever get so hot that, you start to almost I almost passed out working. I work by myself.
Okay.
And I almost passed out the other day in the heat.
It's not safe.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
wasn't saying that as
with
as
my
a joke.
back to the I wasn't. Good. I didn't feel hot.
Okay.
I didn't realize how
what
much
were you wearing?
heat I was
Tell us what
taking.
you're wearing.
I was wearing a black hat backwards
Okay.
that was supposedly soaking in a lot of heat, and when I took my hat off, it felt like my head was growing into a mushroom.
Oh no, swelling.
No drugs. I had about 8 liters of water, and it just felt like heat emanating off my head.
That's not good.
And then I was like, I'm going to go sit in the truck in some air conditioning.
Yeah, cool
and
down.
it was, Humidex is way through the thing. I turned the truck on. It's overheating because I'm spraying the air conditioning. And the air conditioning hitting me so quickly with the cold was just like, just like short. short circuit, just like Johnny Five going down.
Johnny Five not alive.
No. And it
Johnny
was like,
Five is
oh no, what am I going to do? And trying to figure out.
As you're going out?
Well, not quite.
Oh, no.
It's just like this feeling of like, if I don't pick myself up and get out of this truck, which is too hot,
Oh.
I don't know if I might just slump over.
conk it.
But I'm inside and the cold is what's shocking me right now. And it's like, I have to do this. So I went outside on a black truck and put my arms on it. I was like, oh,
Why did you? No. Burn it.
So it was just this like cycle of shit
Why?
that kept happening.
Oh. How
And
did
then
you get out of it?
Well, I really had to poop.
It always comes back to poop.
So I went into the
Place you were
porta
working
potty.
at?
Well, it's outdoors in a residential area, out to the porta potty.
That's going to be nice and cool in there for sure.
Just outrageous. The stink woke me up, and I needed to get out.
Shitting salts.
Like ammonia. Totally. Not good. So I don't get to tell anybody this because I'm usually by myself. So that actually,
Wow.
yeah, it's I guess, back to what I said before, even if you're about to pass out from sunstroke, farts, or even the illusion of shit,
They'll save your life.
it might wake you up and save your life.
Was there anyone around who could have helped you if you blacked out?
Maybe the guy that lived in one of the houses might have come out.
Those aren't very good odds. I don't like.
No,
I don't
no,
like how that sounds.
maybe that guy, because it's a brand new area, and all the other side of the street is a field.
Well,
that
you
goes
described it perfectly.
north.
It's like, yeah, there's no one there.
Yeah, and it's
Man, you would have burned to a crisp. How long do you think you'd be out for from heat stroke?
in a toilet
Yeah.
in turlet.
Oh. Man, you could fall in.
With the
If
amount
you're
of
not
humidity in
careful,
there,
you would slip right in.
yeah,
Because you're
start
greased
lose
up.
weight slowly and just
Greased
kinda
up like a pig? Yeah, man.
Just go. That's
like
like
Frank with the greased watermelon. That'd be your body going right through.
Everybody try and catch him. Well,
it.
it's a rum ham, or was it the rum ham? Rum ham.
The greased watermelon was in the pool with the glass on the bottom.
Throw it. And get
Why is
the
everybody
kids to
wearing their
try and grab it.
shoes? It's so weird.
That was like the pool when I was growing up in Kalanze. I'm sure the pool is great
Kalanze.
now,
Shout out to Kalanze.
but they never fixed the bottom of it while we were kids, and we were always told to get water shoes because you'd cut your feet up
How
on the old stipple concrete thing because they would just paint it. And it would get worn away, and then it'd paint it and worn away. So it's just like raw concrete with a bit of paint on it.
Yeah.
So if you jumped
not
off
as
the diving board
smooth.
feet first and you get to the bottom, just like, oh, ow, oh. And then your feet bleed, and then they're like, hey, you should have been wearing shoes. You shouldn't be bleeding in my pool.
Stop that bleeding right now.
There'd be kids who get their feet stuck in the grates. So you'd like jump off the diving board, go feet
that's how you
first, and
die.
get your toes stuck, and
that's
then
how
you're
you
stuck
die.
down there.
Yeah,
It was like,
you're dead.
oh, wow. Yeah,
Nice and safe.
good old Kalanze pool.
We got a show that it's a seasonal show. Might be something like what you and I are going to do. And it's called The Water Sliding Bros. And,
I love this.
And we talk just a lot about water slides. And they're like two of my old roommates. And
Penguin
a lot of
Park?
fun. Penguin Park got talked about in there.
Okay.
And now with The Water Sliding Bros and with you talking about diving, it's really got me thinking this would be some good crossover for next time we do an episode of that
Okay.
one. What's the highest thing you jumped off? Because I know you've done a lot of cliff jumping. You've done a lot of jumping off, a lot of crazy shit.
I think it's over 25 feet.
That's nuts to me. That's like two 10-footer. That's like two Harry Baileys.
No, 25 feet. Sorry, that's not
Oh, no,
very
those are
big.
meters. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
25 meters. Tell me
No, they're-
25. That'd be crazy.
No, not meters. What's
that's
the highest at Harry Bailey?
10 meter.
10 meters?
Yeah.
So it would be probably, I would say, maybe max, like, I don't want to say over 15, but it's got to be 15, 16, 17, somewhere around there.
That's so insane.
It was definitely longer than that. It's a 3.5 Mississippi.
That's so nuts.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi.
See, and to add some context
in.
to this, Grandma has different spots across Canada where he stops and jumps off of waterfalls and
Hell
stuff like
yeah.
that. So that's
found
why I
a lot
had the
of
need
cool
to ask.
spots.
You have. Maybe that's another thing that you do is map out your favorite spots.
Those
and
are-
make that a tour.
So, do you have this? I'm wondering if I have some kind of weird photographic memory. So, like, when someone brings up something like oh, waterfall on a cliff spot. I picture Google Maps and it just goes whoop,
Right to the spot where I was talking about.
from where I'm sitting. It's just like, oh, this place, and it goes
Yeah, I have like I call those DeLorean moments.
right.
Yeah, like
Cool.
I like DeLorean songs where you'll hear a song and instantly you go to that spot.
And then you go back to the spot sitting in the back of the car.
And I have them with other things. I didn't really think about that, but yeah.
But it's almost like a vision of Google Maps.
Yeah.
Like I have two things. I have cliff jumping spots and I have hot springs, free hot springs, not paid hot springs. I'll tell you about the paid ones.
Of course.
But the newest one that I've been building in my brain, and it's only out of experience and looking at maps, is Western Canadian golf courses. So that's the one thing that I started getting into in my late 20s,
Yes.
traveling around, was why aren't we bringing clubs?
You've gotten good at golf too, by the way.
I just like playing golf.
Yeah.
I golfed. It's the only sport that I've played my entire life.
Yeah.
And I've played a lot of different sports and when I was younger, but this is the one that's carried over that I'm like, I'm going to do this when
And
I'm
you go
80.
out of your way to do it too.
100%.
That's what I mean, because like
Totally.
you're always like, let's go golfing, man. And I love that about you.
Yeah. It's my way of chilling out. But it's almost like I'm going to go chastise myself. It's flogging is what it is.
I'm gonna
It's
go
a
beat the
sort
shit
a
out of
form
my
of self-flagellation.
mental soul, yeah.
And you need this. It's like certain
You
people
deserve that triple bogey, you asshole.
Certain people go to church and and say things. Certain people are into diving or into skydiving. Golf is my source of like, yeah, you are shit at this thing that you've worked your entire life on.
Oh man, I went through that legit last year.
I don't understand how, because still to this day, you have driven it farther than I could ever dream of while telling a story in fucking flip-flops. Didn't take a breath. You just walked up to the ball and swung and hit it and turned around without stopping your story or taking a breath, while the rest of us sat there and watched it drop at like 320. I'm like, you hit it over 300 yards in flip-flops.
Nah.
And couldn't stop telling the story. And I was like, do you know how far that went? You're like, what? Like the golf ball? Like, psh.
Did you not hear my
Did you not
story?
hear what I was saying? I was like, man. So then it's like, see, I love stuff like that, where it's like, man, I want to go golfing with you more because I would love to hear you tell stories and just school me for a while.
And that's the most humbling process of my golf, I guess, life. My entire life, I've always had natural talent golfing. I've always been good. Like I've never been awesome. Like I've never been incredible. Like the best round I've ever shot in my life was a 79, and I finished. I finished the ninth hole. It was Bridges 9, and it was pitch black. And I was so in the zone that I hit it, and I knew exactly where it went. Right off drive to 3-wood to chip to miss putt to par for 79. And it was just, I was in the zone. And I always said, if I only played every day, if I could play every day, I would be on the tour. I got all the mechanics. I got the mindset. I know how to do it. I need to just try this. So when I got let go from work, I had an entire summer with a golf course that was 2 minutes away with my golf cart. I'd go out 3 times a day. Go out in the morning, go afternoon, go out at night.
And
this time of year, I'd play till 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Incredible course at Shields.
Yeah.
The best I did, and it was about a month in of these like 3 a days. The best I did, I think I shot like a 3 over.
Yeah.
You're playing every day. What? I'm asking my body, this is all we've ever wanted. You're supposed to be on tour now. Why are you failing me?
Yeah.
Like, you're getting your reps, and what is wrong? And that's when I realized that I actually, in fact, not as good as I thought it was at golf.
Yeah.
And it humbled me and made me realize I can't even say that, if I played every day, I'd be on tour. And I proceeded to play the worst golf of my life the back end of last summer when I was going all the time, because I overplayed so much that I lost everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't hit a straight shot.
So it always makes me believe it's the same thing with, I see this a lot with musicians who are very, very good, like very like top world class, but don't have a lot of work. It's like they don't understand the journey because their attempt to perfection is so like, it's so much a part of their life that they're forgetting about the small things and how they're treating the small things, because all you're looking is at the end result is just constantly. It helps them perform every day. It's like, I'm shit, I'm terrible. I didn't do what, and I'm trying every day. Why am I not getting better?
Why do I suck?
They're not seeing that them being hard on themselves. They think that that's why they're going every day, is because I'm hard on myself. And it's like, no, you actually have a passion for this.
That's
and every
heavy.
day on the way to you getting mad is the reason why you're here.
That's it.
It's not you're like constant, oh, I need to fix this and I need to shift this over and I need to do this. Or if you're playing a song, it's like, I don't want to rush. I don't want to do this. I don't want to, like, I should look at everybody instead of being in my own head. And like, there's certain things that you learn, and it can be applied to pretty much everything. You're like, this and this is the difference. If you have your head down in your own head, you're not performing the thing that you want. You're being the thing that you want, and it feels great, but you're not actually doing it with the group. You're not doing it in nature. So I find that golf is one of the big things, a reminder to keep your head up, because you have to keep your head down.
Literally.
You have to.
Eye has to be on the ball.
At this much of golf, you have to keep your head down. Every other part of it, if your head isn't up, you will constantly bitch at yourself for those fractions of the seconds when your head was down that you did it wrong. And the whole time your head's up, you're going to just berate yourself. And that's the journey. If you don't understand how you're constantly berating yourself, then you're not actually living and looking at the trees and the birds and having the conversation. And like, because that's, for me, that's golf, is everything in between the hits.
Yeah.
The hit is for me.
Like you say, the journey.
That's individual. That's
Yeah.
my time for myself in a couple seconds. But everything else about golf is me
Take it in,
interacting with the
maybe.
world.
Yeah.
And they're usually you pay for a very beautiful landscaped area that someone spent a lot of time at, so you can appreciate that. Yeah. It's still groomed and kept up well. Someone comes around and serves you every once in a while. Someone's allowed you onto their property that's super beautiful. It's like there's so many things to appreciate. And I just want to say this again. I don't say thank you enough to other people, but thank you very much. But that's a Canadian way of doing it, and I've noticed this very much all across the world. It's not just in America or in other parts of North America, but like I've seen in places like Thailand, or even like, I've never been to Europe, but I hear these types of ways are worldly, and Canadians are very into thank you, handshake, thank you very much. And for a little bit, I found that a little bit disingenuous. And I've been told by waitresses or service people in the service industry, I appreciate you. I appreciate that. And whenever I hear that, it really hits me.
Might as well say that you love me, because we're in love now.
It sounds like we're in love now. And I do
Absolutely.
appreciate you very much. And
Right
for the
back at you,
time that
man.
you've given me here to speak. But
Of
like
course.
I want to say that kind of thing more often, consciously, because I do. And
very
even if it's fleeting, when I've heard it, where it's like, I appreciate you, sir. Like, I don't care how fleeting that was for you. Oh,
And
like it just feels amazing. And
that's like
we're in a world of thank yous, and I think we should be more appreciative, because it
love that.
definitely feels nice.
I love that. I've been to the point, like, I go out of my way to tell people how grateful I am and to tell them how much I appreciate them. Like, I love and appreciate you. I tell you all the time. I say it to everybody. And it's gotten to the point where people say that, like, they just thought I was full of shit. Like, I just say that to say that.
Because it's hard to say.
And that's what people, like, it's never been hard for me, because I genuinely feel that way. Like, if I say it to someone, like, I mean it. Like, and it's as simple as, like, just, oh, you made me smile. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Like, and for a long time, this girl, she's like, it took me so long to understand, but you're actually like this, aren't you? I was like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like, what? I don't even understand what you're trying to say. She's like, you actually mean when you say these things. I was like, at what point did you think I didn't? Like, I don't understand how that could even be. And just so
Isn't
to
that
get that,
weird?
it's like, yeah.
Even to understand that someone else has a vision of you that you didn't know.
And she was younger too, so she
what
was.
did you see? So you were attracted supposedly to the fake version of what I was doing, because you expected that not to be real, but then you found out that there's no other way. It's like,
waiting, and that's it.
oh. It was like, how is that?
And she apologized to me.
Isn't that interesting?
Apologized. Yeah, it was
Because
very
it's
strange.
not, that's not fair.
It's
You're
weird.
allowed to be happy.
What a world we live in,
Yeah,
hey? Isn't that something?
You know what? Isn't that something?
Isn't that something?
We're allowed to be in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, which when I was golfing in Vegas, I had a guy
I can tell a good story.
the guy was from New York, lived in Vegas for like 30 years, worked in a shitty golf course that we went to. Yeah. I still loved it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, you love shitty courses, though.
I do.
Yeah, so your thing.
So, go up, talk to the guy, and he's like, "You ever been here before?" I was like, "No, man, we're from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada." He's like, "I have no fucking clue what you just said, sir. But if you've never been here before, God bless you." I was like, "Oh man, I like this guy.
Be a good day.
I like this guy."
Hell yeah. And even that, right? Like, even that sets the tone for you, this whole new adventure you're about to embark on.
Oh, it was great. We golfed next
Like,
to an
try having a
irrigation
bad
ditch.
time after that. Yeah, like, right up your alley.
Yeah, it was fun.
Man. Oh,
Yeah.
this is cool. This
So
is really,
I,
really cool.
I really want to come back and hang
Yeah,
out with
you're
you.
going to. It's
And
already
if
done, I
there's
told you.
going to be other people here, I don't care.
Nope. You're gonna meet the family. Like,
I would love to meet
like
the family.
once you're in,
But if it's just you and I,
this is
that's
the-
fun too.
This is the thing: is once you're in this studio, you are a part of this. Like, once you become a member of this, it means that because like all the new people that have come in, it all started with me and people I trust with my life 1,000%, like 1,000% with my life. I started with that
Amazing.
core, and then anyone who's come into the circle from that initial inner circle has to be vouched for by someone else. Mm-hmm. So then this
Whoa.
person, it's crazy. Like, we keep
Good
it
for you.
really legit, because from the bottom of my
gotta
heart,
be tight.
if there's dicks or assholes in here, I'm going to lose it.
Yep.
We can't have that. We
Yep.
can't. So we go through this. So once you're in here and doing something like this, like, you're a part of the family.
Nice.
So there's not, like, it's just really cool, because then
appreciate
it lets you know how much we appreciate you, because you wouldn't be in here, if we didn't, right? So it's a good system.
I like to think that, like, there's other things that I get to see around the world, like, or not the world, but around close to home even. And like, there's other podcasts, there's other things. Like, is there other things outside of your network that you'd be willing to be like, hey, shout out this podcast because these guys are trying it too. Like, shout out these guys because they're
Anything,
great
man.
dudes.
I think we did a pretty good job in sort of showing you what our sort of feeling is around here in our aura.
Yeah,
And
it's very,
we're not in the business of bringing anyone down. We're only in the business of bringing people up.
yeah,
That's it.
it's punch up.
That's it. Always punch up. We'll all go up together.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything. That's what I
Absolutely.
said, man. Anything you can think of, be it like people you think would be good to advertise with, or people you think would
Right.
be great guests on this show or on your show that you're going to have, or whatever we do. You come in with something and we make it happen. There's no, it's so, another cliche, there's no dumb questions or there's no stupid questions. Around here, there's a billion of them and no one gets laughed at for them.
Cool.
Like,
I want to get
that's all
laughed
we
at
do.
for all of the things that I do.
Well, you probably will too, but never a ha ha.
Yeah,
More of a
right.
ha ha.
Hey,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. I get you. I see what you're doing.
You do have weird penis.
And that's how we end it. So again, be on the lookout for story time with Uncle Grandma. As you can tell, he is one of the most interesting dudes I've ever met. So funny, so kind. And I said it in the interview, he really, he fits in with the mold of what we're trying to do here, as in being good people and trying to make the world a better place. So when we go outside, it's not so depressing because everyone's so angry all the time. Not just because of the heat. He's going to be in tomorrow for a couple more episode recordings, and we will be launching that show very soon, along with all the other ones that we have here on the network as we continue to grow. It's very exciting. A couple quick notes before we head out for today. Raven Witch. We love Raven Witch. Matt from all the bands is a guitarist in there. His lovely wife Erin sings, and they have a new song out called Bringer of the Storms. And as you heard yesterday when Matt was in here for his weekly, tonight, Hometown Rock, 8 p.m. It's going down, as Ugly Kid Joel got them in for a quick chat, and they will be spinning the song. And if you haven't heard it yet, it's absolutely fantastic. Cannot stress it enough. Go hit up Bringer of the Storms. It's a true banger in every sense of the word. So Be sure to check that out tonight on Hometown Rock with Ugly Kid Joel, the best in the biz at what he does. I absolutely love that man to death, and he's always putting the spotlight on local bands right here in Saskatoon, and it just means so much to everybody involved that he gets out and continues to do that. So thank you again to him. You'll also be seeing a bunch, you probably noticed on these banners on the bottom, we have new ones joining every week as Pulse Power with Aiden has been up and running, and it's a great, great way for you to get a little bit more fitness into your life, mobility, if you will, learn how to stretch and do all those things. She's got a bunch of great workouts for you and many, many more. I also want to give a shout out to our friends at Aquaman Limited. We love them oh so much. Be it in Alberta or Saskatchewan, they do all that water work that you need done, be it monitoring, supplying, underwater droning, whatever it is, they got you covered. All the love to our friends over at Aquaman Limited and our good buddies at Nickel Plumbing and Heating. They do a lot of really good plumbing and heating. I've been saying that for my entire life, and I stand by it. Great, great business, great people. Couldn't ask for a better plumbing and heating company with our friends at Nickel Plumbing. All right, as I believe we can get the fingers ready to roll. My sweet dragons in there on the ones and twos. And little, I guess we call them curtain jerks for you here, as while we were playing that previously recorded segment. He challenged me to Super Smash Bros., which is a game that we have now set up on our Twitch stream, Dufferin Ave Media. You can find us over there. And we did a Super Smash Bros. Stream last week, which was very, very fun with the whole team here. And he proceeded to whip me 4 games in a row. 4 games in a row. Still hurt. Still sad. I'm looking at the screen right now. It's the last one he beat me 2-1. Sudden death. Super Smash Bros. Great game. Never got into it before, but now I'm definitely into it as it's become sort of a mainstay for everyone here at the network. So it's a lot of fun there. Thank you again to Adrian Belarzon for stopping by. Whoa, you all right over there? Yeah, we're still on air. I see. Oh, God. The dragon's raging. Cool it. Oh, well, no one knows if it's backwards. Adrian Belarzon, got a great book. If you're looking at building a team, this is how you do it. I tell him all the time. I read it, and then I apply it to the team here, and everything gets better. He's very intelligent, great speaker. He's got a lunch with Adrian the Canadian tonight at 8:30 p.m. on a Zoom, which is going to be very cool, so be sure to check that out. Tomorrow, Matt Young from CTV stopping by. He's got a brand new game he's going to debut. He's our guy when it comes to coding and all that other cool stuff with the 8-bit, I guess, world. So we'll check in with him as well. Mr. Peterson, teacher at Aidan Bowman, rec goalie extraordinaire, drummer in bands. The guy does everything. He's stopping by again, along with our friend Jamie, who we're going to introduce to you. He was a work ed student a couple of years ago that Mr. Peterson taught, and then he brought him in the old radio station. So we said, let's bring him in here, see what we can do. So it's going to be a great show tomorrow. Be sure to stop by and check all of that out. And then we're rolling the weekend, man. I guess that's why they call it hump day, hey? Because you're on the top of the hill and now you go down? Yeah. All those gross people started to try and make it a sex thing. It's like, come on, you guys, grow up. Jeez, ridiculous. So keep that in mind as we continue to make our way through this week. And you will be very, very missed until tomorrow at 4 p.m. when we return. Remember, karma is very, 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 very real. And you'll notice if you start doing good things, they'll start to happen to you, right? It's very exciting. So keep that in mind and have a great rest of your Wednesday night.